All right, let's just dive right into this. Welcome to our explainer, where we're going to peel back the layers and look at the hidden stories, the fascinating facts, and the incredible history of literally one of the most recognizable buildings on the entire planet. I mean, it's an absolute icon, right? Just think about it for a second. When you hear the words the White House, boom, an immediate image pops into your head. But today, we aren't just looking at the classic postcard version of this building. We're going to explore the hidden details that make this place so much more than just a famous address in Washington, D.C. To really kick things off, let's shatter a massive common assumption right out of the gate. Did you know this iconic building wasn't always white? I know, it sounds totally impossible because, well, the color is literally in the name. We all kind of grew up assuming it was just designed that way from day one. But history is rarely that simple. We're going to uncover exactly why its look changed forever and how that one change actually made the building's history so much richer. But before we uncover that mystery, here is our tour itinerary for today's explainer. We'll hit 1. A building's colorful history, 2. Construction to today, 3. Inside the White House, 4. First families and stories, and finally 5. A symbol of democracy. Let's get to it. Okay, Section 1. A building's colorful history. Time to figure out the story behind that world-famous bright white facade. So, what's the deal with the white paint? Well, the answer actually lies in one of the most dramatic moments in early American history. During the War of 1812, British troops actually set fire to the building. Yeah, they burned it, leaving the exterior sandstone heavily scorched and completely damaged. So to cover up those ugly burn marks and to protect the porous stone, the building was coated in a really thick white lead-based paint. What started out as a massive, frantic repair job eventually became its defining feature, officially earning the nickname the White House decades later under Theodore Roosevelt. It's a perfect example of how the building isn't just some static monument. Its very walls tell a literal story of survival. Moving right along to Section 2, Construction to Today. Let's trace this amazing building's incredible lifespan. If we hop in a time machine, we can trace the building's journey all the way back to day one. Specifically 1792, when George Washington laid the very first cornerstone. But here's a wild fact for you. Washington is the only president who never actually lived there. Actually, scratch that. He didn't even get the chance. It was John Adams who was the first to move in, back in 1800. As the years rolled by, history unfolded rapidly. The building had to evolve alongside the nation. Just imagine the sheer technological leaps this place has seen, going from candlelight to the installation of electricity in 1891, all the way to today's modern era of ultra-high-tech security. It hasn't just witnessed history, it's constantly adapted to it. All right, Section 3, Inside the White House. Let's step off the front lawn and see what's actually going on inside. Inside these walls, you guys, it is an absolute maze of activity. Just how big is the presidential residence? Well, it boasts a staggering 132 rooms, 35 bathrooms, and it spans across 6 distinct levels. I mean, 35 bathrooms. That is a massive, highly complex ecosystem. It literally requires an entire army of dedicated staff. We're talking chefs, florists, groundskeepers, security, just to keep the whole shebang functioning smoothly. So we've already uncovered the white paint mystery from the outside, but inside, this place operates as a giant executive office, a crazy venue for grand state dinners, and of course, the actual functional home for the US president. Which brings us perfectly to Section 4, First Families and Stories. Let's look at the human element of this massive structure. One of the absolute most fascinating aspects of the White House is the incredible contrast happening under a single roof. In one room, you literally have the weight of the free world resting on a president's shoulders. Think of JFK navigating the Cuban Missile Crisis, or FDR making critical World War II decisions in the dead of night. But then, just down the hallway, it's just a regular family home. Seriously, Abraham Lincoln's sons famously used to let their pet goats run wild through the halls. And Susan Ford, she actually hosted her high school prom in the East Room. No way, right? This duality, a high-stakes global command center, mixed with the chaotic, everyday reality of a family living room, is exactly what makes the history of this place so uniquely captivating. And finally, Section 5, a symbol of democracy. Let's zoom out and see what this building truly represents. Beyond being just a home or a super busy command center, the White House stands today as an incredible, undeniable symbol of American democracy. When people around the globe see this building, they aren't just looking at classic architecture. They are looking at an idea. It represents a system of government, an unbroken chain of elected leaders, and a nation's enduring values. Over the centuries, the building itself has become this powerful physical shorthand for the entire democratic process. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I've got to ask you, if you had the chance to live in the White House, what is the very first room you would want to explore? Would you try to track down the historic Oval Office, maybe uncover that hidden bowling alley, or just, I don't know, raid the kitchen? It's pretty fun to imagine, isn't it? I really hope this explainer helped you see this global symbol in a totally new light. So, what would your first move be? Let that sink in, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and we will catch you on the next one.